They say the best things in life are free, but you can give them to the birds and to the bees. I want money. That's what I want. That's what I want. That's what I want. Your love gives me such a thrill, but your love won't pay my bills. I need money. That's what I want. That's what I want. That's what I want. Baby hit me. That woman said, your love give her such a thrill, but your love will not pay her bills. She wants money. Hey, people, I'm Mocha Drop. Praise your Lori. It's Z. Mm-hmm. LaFab Bliss. IRJ Supreme. Mm-hmm. S. Is it SM Coyer? 25? Oh, you're 25 years old. You're blessed. Use that time wisely. Hi, Tashana, moderator. Thanks for coming in. Listen, people, I cannot believe that here we are 2 months later and we are still talking about these people, these same people, right? There has been so much news to drop. There's got to be 100 videos made about this fool, Lamar Whitehead, right? So now the latest, we have to give the update because we've been following the story, right? So just when you thought that it was safe to go back in the water, child, there must be another 30 videos made today on this Lamar Whitehead. Now he's offering people. He says that it is not true that he has not served or attempted to serve Larry Reed and King Jives. He says they're ducking his server, and now he's offering $1,000 to anyone that can give him the location on Larry Reed at King Jives. Now, he knows that King Jives ain't got no money, right? So that's a distraction. If he wants to pay some money to actually file papers on King Jives, good luck. I don't know what you'll get. But as far as Larry Reed, he has initially put that up as a form of harassment, but now he's starting to say, wait a minute. It seems like everybody is suing everybody on YouTube. So it makes me wonder, would any of these people be suing any of these people if they didn't have any money? Now, we know Larry has become very successful on YouTube. We started about the same time on YouTube, and I just watched him just zoom right past almost immediately. He almost immediately became successful on YouTube, Facebook, and all the other social media that he uses, right? And he would tell you that he's opening this and he's opening that. And I don't know that it's the wise thing to be telling these people that you got money. I don't think that Cardi B would have sued Tasha K successfully if Tasha K wasn't on here talking about how much money she had, right? You telling these people, you're bragging about how much money you make, and it makes it worthwhile. Because if you're going to file a lawsuit against somebody, I would imagine the first thing the lawyer wants to establish is, does this person have anything to sue for? Like people like me, which probably the majority of people on YouTube, we don't really have any. It's not really worth their time to come after us, right? But when you're on here talking about you have got millions of dollars, and they are on here seeing flash on you, they're coming for that Whitehead, but he is just so accustomed to being sued that it doesn't faze him because he's constantly being sued for all of the shenanigans that he's always involved in, right? But while you're on here and you're bragging about, and we see you done got robbed on live online, so you say, maybe the truth will come out in the book. We have to wait. But then you go back and now you're double the size of your diamond necklaces and all this kind of stuff. Not only good people are watching Whitehead. I thought you would have learned your lesson. But I think there's something for all of us to learn here about this constant bragging. Now, if you're only making a couple $1,000s, you're paying your bills. You may not have nothing to worry about. But when you have become successful, it seems like the current thing is this sue gate or this sue culture where people want to start suing YouTubers. Why? Because they think they can actually win something, right? No one would even know of your value if you didn't constantly put it in their face and tell them that you have money. It doesn't matter if you're a good person or a nice person. It doesn't make any difference. They want money. That's what they want. That's what they want. That's what they want. Your love gives me such a thrill. But your love, baby, won't pay these bills. I need money. Right? Hi, y'all. What's going on? Y'all seeing it? I mean, after Tasha K fell, Tasha K, they need to get pissed off at you. You push the limits and push the limits and push the limits with this woman. And this woman said she gonna make it. She said, I'm gonna make you famous. And she didn't sue you for all that money. Now we got celebrities suing YouTubers. We got YouTubers suing YouTubers. We got all these people suing it. We're going to fight it out in litigation. And the unfortunate thing about this this culture thing is that it catches on, right? So a person said, well, damn, I became rich because I sued Tasha K. Well, let me go and sue her, you know. So now you got to be more guarded with what you say. We understand that as the internet grows. But you also don't need to let people know all of your business, right? You got 3 homes, 3 studios. I know it's tempting to want to brag about your success, you know, let people know that I'm successful kind of thing. It might not be the wisest way to go, right? They're only going to come after you because you have money. Corporations, people sue them for hundreds of millions of dollars. Why? Because they know they can afford to pay it, right? Many times they settle. So I saw Whitehead on there today, and he's saying he ain't selling. He said he's serious about his $25 million lawsuits against Larry Reed and King Jives. I don't really think it's about King Jives. I think it's about Larry Reed and anybody attached to him. So in this last announcement that I heard, not only did he attach King Jives to Larry Reed, he's also attached Conscious TV. He wants information on him. He said, if you have information on Larry Reed, Conscious TV, King Jives, Bishop Bernard, what's his name? Bernard Jordan. He wants information on all of them. And he says he's going to give $1,000 if you can tell them where he can serve these papers on these people, right? So I took his lawsuit as a joke, and basically I still do. But now he's hooked up with a person who has been banned from that case. When a judge tells you, listen, here's the settlement. Close your goddamn mouth concerning this person. This person, close your mouth concerning this person. I don't want to hear a peep out of either one of you about each other, right? And then you're going to go around what the judge says. You think you're smarter than the judge. And then you're going to feed the information through somebody else so then they can make it public again. What is going to be the attitude of that judge? I mean, judges got egos like anybody else. I told you not to do that. And now you're going to try to use somebody else to bring the same shit that I put a ban on. So this other ex-tuber or whatever, I don't even know if he even have a page or whatever. He has actually started sending all of this shit that he tried to use against Larry Reed last year. He's been restricted from using it again, taking it all down offline, off of every social media, not to mention it, not to say that name. He is actually now going to go and throw all of this information onto someone else. It's not even masked, right? It's insane. This thing is getting pretty crazy. So now, since Whitehead is now hooked, he's hooked on this social media popularity. He has not been successful at anything. He still wants to think that he's a bishop. But now, as just like Jay Wilson, they discovered, well, there's more money in the mess. So he's going both feet now into the mess, right? He's abandoning this idea of his that he was some kind of bishop. Now he's calling himself Dr. Bishop. Since last week, he's now Dr. Bishop. He got two PhDs, girl. 2 honorary PhDs, and now he's Dr. Bishop, right? I think it's dangerous, people. I really do. Now, we know that over here, people exaggerate a little bit. They brag a little bit, but we ain't really getting no money in the beef sector, right? Although some people would have you think they are, they ain't. not comparison. Some of these people, even young people, are getting $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a year. They're making money, right? That invites people to come for them. Why? Because they got online and they saw other people suing everybody. So let me file a lawsuit. Oh, you mean it only costs $1,000 to file that lawsuit against him for $20 million? I can do that. Hoping for a settlement. Let's hope this shit don't catch on like they caught on with the Me Too movement. And in my opinion, the Me Too movement got way out of control. And they started firing people. All these newscasters lost their careers. All these people lost their careers because they said something inappropriate in the office, and things got out of control. Right? Everybody was Me Too at that point because that was the mood of the country. They had been getting away with it for years and years and years. Between what's the guy's name? Whatever. The big producer guy. Then everything was all Me Too. So let's not make it all now sue culture. Everybody's suing everybody, hoping to get a settlement in most cases. What y'all think? Am I being silly and ridiculous? They can come get me. I give them a statue. That's all you can get. I ain't got nothing else, girl. You go into my account, you're going to find dry earth, girl. Whitehead is just more crafty. Jay Weasel. Did y'all hear Jay Weasel? Jay Wilson going over there, child, talking about what crooks all these people are in the church. Jay Wilson, like you had some other plan for the church, child. You have the exact same personality as these charlatans, Jay Wilson. But the only thing what went wrong was you can't preach. And then the people did not want you. You were too obviously a beggar, right? You talked about your desire for money way too much. And then when you start getting all you start getting all that wiggle in the girl, it makes you undesirable for ministry because you really don't have a heart for ministry. Now you're over there telling all these people how they're charlatans, how they only want money, and how they're selling. He went off on Bernard Jordan. He said that he is selling prophecies and things like that. And I said, well, Jay Wilson, explain to me the difference between you selling prayer cloths and him selling whatever he's selling. By need to buy him selling whatever. If you were successful in ministry, Jay Wilson, you'd be doing the exact same thing or worse because it is a defect in your character. Don't you understand? The right message, wrong messenger. Wrong, honey. You can't come on here running your mouth about money. I'm here for the money. I'm beefing for dollars and all this shit, girl. Right? Even though the Bible you worship and call God tells you plainly that it is the love of money. And we've seen example after example after example going all the way back into the days of Abraham. Money, the love of money. It is not the money itself because everybody wants to be successful. But when you love money, the love of money, it is the root of all evil. It changes you. Look how Whitehead has changed even in the last 2 months. Now, we already know that what his character was. He's always Dr. Flash, right? But now we see that he has gotten hooked on this this internet fame, I guess you could call it, clout, or going viral. He's going viral 3 or 4 times in the last 2 months. Who does that? Now he's stuck. So now he's suing people. So now we have to go through what we went through with this other blogger who would finally run away from YouTube. He's going to replay that all over again, right? It's crazy. And that part has nothing to do with the lawsuit. The lawsuit is a different drama that he created, right? He got 2 or 3 days out of that, right? And now it's about the expose and how he's going to expose this one and expose that one. As I told you before yesterday, Whitehead, you are one of the last peoples currently that we're watching who needs to be exposing shit. There's too much there, brother. There is too much there for you to end your ass up in prison doing major time for ripping off the people that you're trying to sell this bullshit to. The very people you're doing the same thing that you did before you got busted, you're doing it now. Only you're doing it more. Right? drawing all this attention to yourself. And what you're gonna end up doing is you're gonna end that mayor. The mayor is a mayor of New York City. It is a high position. I mean, New York City is a huge city, right? A huge responsibility. He has still not denied you and denounced you. What he needs to do is to come on live television and say, I denounce Satan in all his ways. I denounce Whitehead in all his ways. Because you, sir, people are going to wonder, why isn't that dude in jail? Why? He's not no Donald Trump. Why was he able to choke a woman out live on TV, even though he's out there spinning it, and be out of jail in an hour after his phone call? Right? I'm sure a lot of the people in New York City want to know those things, man. You are getting exposed on major television sites and major newspapers and all that, and you think they're not gonna find anything, right? So how do you have, if you are a real estate mogul, how do you have the time even to be sitting up here on social media with all this bullshit? I would think you would have more pressing issues, right? If you're making major deals, real estate deals, you said you no longer sell real estate because they took your license to sell real estate in New York because you are a convicted felon, right? So now you are a real estate investor, right? To invest implies that you have money to invest. Are the New York City banks, are they investing in ex-cons now with a history of bank fraud and ripping off their customers and their clients? Are these the kind of people who are invested in real estate with you? People come to your property and they see notices on the door saying you have not been paying the mortgage on these on this complex of yours that you brag about. Whitehead, back away from this bullshit. You're hooked. Mm-hmm. What's love got to do with it? You love that, Betty White, baby. It says a lot, don't it? But love ain't nothing but a secondhand emotion. What's love got to do with it? Who needs a heart when a heart can be broken? Oh, how y'all doing today? No, it ain't just me. It ain't just me. I ain't believe no damn story, child. I put that boy's name in the title to see what was the current stuff. I must have saw 40 videos made today on Whitehead. So this is what he's hooked on. He just want to be famous. He's always wanted to be famous. He's going around dressed up like a Christmas tree so people will look at him, right? That's what all the cars are about. That's what all the retarded clothes are about. It's all about look at me, look at me. And now for a person with that kind of personality, it really is. The whole country is looking at you. They looked at you on CNN, MSNBC. But what you don't realize is they're not just looking at you, Whitehead. They are laughing at you. You have become a caricature, right? And we still haven't seen any of these bishops or pastors or, I don't know, ushers, anybody come to speak up for you, honey. With all these videos been made for you, you would think that somebody somewhere on the planet would take you seriously as a bishop for God. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to be faultless and blameless. Going to go from, he went from the robbery straight to the casino, honey. So then he attaches to people. So now he's got something going with his Bernard Jordan. He want to brag his name into this thing now. So now he wants his address, where he contacted him. I guess he gonna sue him too, right? Just throwing spaghetti against the wall and see if anything anywhere will stick, honey. Be careful when you brag, people. Somebody might take you up on it. Absolutely. I think that if Tasha K never talked about her being rich and all that, I don't think that the idea would have come to Cardi B to sue her because it hadn't been done thus far. People in general don't do that to YouTubers, right? But no, you have homes and you have studios and you have Kiwi studios and all this stuff, child. Let me go ahead and clean all that up for you. You will learn about fucking with street fighters. I'm just saying. Mm-hmm. This is the Wilson Whitehead bashing channel. Lord have mercy. To hear Wilson over there, the nerve of that boy, honey, all these attributes he putting on these other preachers are the exact attributes he has to his own personality, child. Exactly. You couldn't give nobody like Jay Wilson no money, child. Not no real money, honey. Let him keep on struggling and surviving to keep that house he don't need, right? Stay on that level, Jay Wilson. Stay on that level. You barely making it, child. And then because if you ever got a hold to any real money, you'd be just like them. You'd be trying to get people into your prayer lessons for $1,500 as well. You'd be selling tote bags as well. You would do it all, Jay Wilson. It is in your character. You're a narcissist, Jay Wilson, and you're also a very greedy person, and you worship money. No one on the YouTube, now I'm not just talking about the beef sector, no one has brought up the subject of money as much as you. It is pitiful. To be on your level, girl, with your 4,000 subscribers, it is pitiful that you would be talking about it so much and then have the nerve to drag your ass over there to talk about these other preachers. I see you as being much worse than them. Worse, the nerve of you. And don't let nobody else get a penny. Don't let Dovey get $200 after 6 months of being on here. Don't let nobody else get no coin. What's she doing with that money? What's she doing with the money? They just give. Just give. You ain't forced. Thank you, Jay Wilson. I'm not forced. Ain't that a bitch? Hi, Rhonda McGee. How you doing? You don't see no pastor, no bishop, nowhere coming to speak in his name. Nobody. Ain't nobody going to attach their names to that dude. Period. See, he's under the impression that the whole church has been oppressed by Larry Reed because he's done exposés on some of them. He doesn't do nearly as much of that as he did. But whatever, you're a public figure. People are going to talk about you. That's what it is, as part of it, right? He thought they were all going to jump on. Yeah, let's get Larry Reed. Let's get Larry. Child, he got more friends in that thing you guys call the church. He got more friends than you do, Whitehead, right? And people just don't want to be associated with you. You're so obviously. Why don't you just take off all that shit, man? What men are really impressed with your necklaces? If you're out here trying to make a point for God, why don't you just try to take all that shit off, child? You don't need to have a running suit on with $300,000 necklace on your neck, right? You're not a rapper. You're not a pimp. We're assuming. Why is it even necessary to persist in that way? It speaks to your intelligence, Whitehead, because the last thing you need to be doing is drawing attention to yourself. But that's the very thing that you do continually, right? No one will follow behind you is because of your character, sir. It'll be interesting to see how this thing is going to end. More than likely you're going to end up with charges, but we don't know how long you can stretch that out. Wherever this money's coming from, we don't know if you have enough to tie things up in court like Donald Trump. People who have money can do that, even though they're guilty as hell. Look at him. He's been getting away with murder. Well, not murder. I can't say that, as far as I know. But what Donald Trump has been getting away, they've had breaking news about Donald Trump not paying taxes, Donald Trump ripping off this company, no bank in America will work with him because he ripped off so many people. All of this stuff did not stop them people from putting him in the White House. So we know that you can manipulate things if you have enough money. I don't suspect that you do have as much money as you try to present, but don't end up spending it all on court cases, which you won't win. That's dumb. You suing everybody and paying every one of them damn lawyers, because the lawyers are also aware that you don't pay your bills, so they want theirs up front. Don't be no fool, man. Mm-hmm. He got so much energy for women, but yet he ducks and hide when men approach him. Ducks and hide when the men's come in. Baby, he hit that ground so goddamn hard. And it seemed like the words in his sermon, the very last words that he said, didn't have anything to do with what he was saying, his sermon, right? It's like it sounded like keywords, different from the sermon. And the moment that he said those words that didn't go with anything else, they came in the door and he hit the ground. Wilson is a Liberace knockoff. That boy. He had to show y'all he washing his cars. Oh, I gotta go get another car now. I just can't believe how he attacked these people in ministry when that was his dream, honey. That's why he went to seminary. You think he went to seminary so he can talk on YouTube about how he's not going to hell? No, honey. It was always, he saw it as a money grab, child. He went to the more ramshackle churches where the trailer park people went, and he saw that the pastor is the only one that seemed to have any money in the neighborhood, and he set his sight. He set his sight on ministry. This is the way I can make some money, because there's no traces of ministry in you, no sign whatsoever that you've been called to do anything, and you can't even really argue theology. Really, you make the same stupid points, honey. The word means pedophilia. I mean, how many times you gonna say that, girl? You gotta go to get degrees. Oh, they ain't got no degrees. He's mad at the people because they have honorary degrees. Jay Wilson, ain't nobody care about nobody degrees. That's something you hang on your wall. It's a personal thing, honey. We want to know, can you bring us a word? And you have been proven that you cannot. They didn't want your crazy ass up there in front of the people, your child. They let you be behind the piano. And then at some point, the audience didn't know a song, so they couldn't sing along with the song that you were singing. And they actually heard your voice. That was the end of that, honey. Shit. So you can hide. If you can bang on them keys a little bit, child, because the organ, you know how they are. And then they could act like you're singing, because everybody in the church is singing along with you. But when the other people stop singing and they actually hear what's coming out of your mouth, when they hear the words that are coming out of your mouth, Jay Wilson, it was over. Yes, it's over. The kids are gone. And so was the congregation. He said he became a man of God. He said he became a man of God 2 years ago. Oh, that was White. He don't know what the hell he talking about, child. He over there bragging now that I'm not a church. I'm not from the church. I'm not from. Which is it, girl? You want to be honored as a bishop, or you want to tell people that you're not a church boy and you want to get in the mud and sling? You want to sling some mud. Now, we have to figure now, how is he going to monetize this whole thing now, right? Because now he's famous for going at these YouTubers, right? It ain't going to last but a minute. He got to keep on throwing something else out there, right? But he also has to monetize it in some way, because apparently there is not much use for him at his office since he's a real estate mogul. Doesn't seem to be a lot of talk about any of his investments or any of his business. He doesn't seem to do any business. This seems to be his business, right? So you're going to be uncovered, Whitehead. Is that Charles Dawson? Hi, Charles Dawson. How you doing? Is it hot in Houston? Happy Saturday. Good Bay Area afternoon. Uncle Tim and everybody. Whitehead is a pimp in the pulpit. But a pimp, he's a pimp with no hose. It's the thing, honey. Ain't nobody following behind him. The people, you only got 9 people in the service. He said they're not coming to church because if he had a gun in his baby's face or something like that, right? So if you're saying that that's why they're not coming to your church, I mean, you only had seats for 25 people. You only got 9 people in there, right? If they're not coming to your church because you got robbed, stop saying your church got robbed. Your church didn't get robbed. You got robbed. If your church got robbed, they would have went for the tithes and offerings. Whatever collection plate you had there, they would have went around the congregation. It's only 9 people, and take their purses and their wallets. No, they were not interested in your congregants' wallets or their purses. They were not interested because people come to church with money. They're prepared to give money. So they got to have something on them, right? No. They were not interested in that. They came directly to you. You handed over what you're supposed to hand over, and they were out of there. It all took place in a couple of minutes, right? So stop saying that they robbed your church. They didn't rob your church. They robbed you, and you've been eating on it ever since. No developments at all with the criminals. My God, they are some smooth operators. I would imagine if you're going around New York City trying to fence big nugget necklaces and so forth, wouldn't that be somebody turning somebody in? Or don't they usually catch people who rob gaudy jewelry and try to fence it locally? They didn't seem to be no real professionals. They wouldn't have the kind of connections where they could move the rocks out of the country and nothing. We have the license plates and the car. We've seen them from the side view and the back view. They've had no gloves on. Surely somebody touched something. They were not sophisticated criminals, and yet no one's been captured. Whitehead, right? So are you going to be convicted also of insurance fraud? Or was that stuff even insured? Because if it's going to be insured, it's got to be real. To be real, got to be real, got to be real. What you faking? I think you faked it, brother. It's got to be real. Mm-hmm. Let me see. Man of God. Yeah, he performed a miracle. You get all that, but not very much about where his income is. Still, it's not making it clear about where any of this income coming from. Whitehead. Now you made taken interest in the New York Times has taken interest in you. Do you know what that degree the New York Times investigates people? You think it was easy to dig up all the information they have on Donald Trump to bring him to justice? If they can get Trump, they can certainly get you, sir. You got the New York Post reporting. Those people are invested. The writers are invested. They say, this is my story. Mm-hmm. So they want to stay interested. Since you keep throwing them fresh meat, they'll just stay interested in it now. Now you're going to be pursuing lawsuits, and now you're online offering people $1,000 to give you a location on people. So you're chasing people down. Are you hiring the private investigators and so forth? Right? You're doing all this because Larry Reed laughed at you. It speaks to your character, sir. And you have got no place on this goddamn thing if you can't be laughed at. Because we have to wait and see what his wife's gonna write a memoir at some point, and maybe we'll get the tea from her. He'll never admit to nothing. They probably won't even give him a pen. He's not gonna be able to profit from his crimes, so they might not even let him write his book in prison. But she may come clean. She could be a victim herself. The way he spoke to her last Sunday, you know. No, there's a part of Wilson that definitely admires him, right? But Wilson is just a piss poor. He's a piss poor hustler, right? He hustles for nickels and dimes. What time is it now? He's already been on 3 times, and it's still morning. Nickels and dimes. He ain't got no diamonds and pearls. If I gave you nickels and dimes. To see, yes, it's been hotter as fish grease the past few days here in Houston. Today is 95. It's hot here too, but it ain't no 95. Well, God bless you. I guess it's just about over, Charles Dawson. Just a little bit more. But with this climate change, we don't know what's next. Hell, the whole country got hot this year. You know, New York always gets hot. The desert, you know, Vegas and all that, they're always at 100 degrees. But this year it seemed to hit everybody. Yeah, that great men that got out there. If you have a servant's heart, if you actually want to be a leader in your community, if you want to be an activist, I mean, the old pastors used to do something. Martin Luther King, those were preachers, pastors, honey. But these guys just want to drive around in the bling bling. You driving the bling bling, and you ain't even got yourself up to 25 members yet. You on here buying subscribers so you can say you have 1 million people watching you, but yet only 20 people showed up for your live. It's all bullshit. Smoke and mirrors. Mm-hmm. You make people hate you. He said, "Long they talking about me. They talking about me. Mm-mm. Ain't nobody speaking out for you, brother." I saw one woman on here today. One woman. Hold on a minute. I want to see how many people since I got on here. I'm going to YouTube. I'm opening a page called Bishop Lamar Whitehead, right? Okay. We got a video made 4 days ago. We got 8 hours ago. Okay. I'm just going to count how many videos about. These are how many videos Whitehead has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, Fat Joe 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30, 31, 32, 33. It goes on, people. All that is in the last 8 days. Okay. Oh my God. Oh no. I can't count. I can't even count this high. Shit. This dude is going back for 2 months. I don't think anybody in the net's got this many views. Videos made about them. Lord have mercy, child. He ain't gonna be able to let it go. He gonna have to ride this thing until the police can come and take him away. So we don't know what his relationship is with the cops. It seems to be a contradiction there, because when he's arrested down there, some people are saying that he must have connections. That call he must have made to the mayor's office why he was able to get out. But at the same time, he's coming to his press conference with 2 people in it, and saying that he was mad at the cops, that the cops didn't treat him fairly, and his father was killed when he was 4 months old or some shit like that. How do you even know? Why do you keep talking about his father is killed before you were barely born? Some people say that not even your father. You don't know who your damn daddy is. But just that you're trying to take credit for this dead man, even if he did provide the sperm, Whitehead, that's not your father. That's not, you never knew him. A father is coming home with the bacon, baby. A father is taking care of his family, right? Father acknowledges his children, right? Apparently, you never knew that person as a father. So why don't you stop trying to take credit for it? That guy who shot somebody, you rushed in there trying to take credit for that, right? And you were not able to do it, but you still want to take credit for it, right? You want to take credit for everything, but you don't do nothing. You want to sit in your damn office, which is, where is the office at even? Can you tell us that much, Whitehead? Because you presented it like you were in the office of your church. You've got, for somebody who got out of prison 9 years ago, you got a whole wall full of diplomas. How can we take you seriously, sir? Are you framing certificates you get for feeding the homeless? Certificates because you came to a party? I mean, come on, man. Who can get out of prison and get a whole wall full of diplomas since they've been out when they're supposed to be running real estate empires and successful ministries, right? When have you had the time? You came out here last week and said you got 2 PhDs on the same day. If I gave you nickels and dimes. So I don't know why he doesn't have his own YouTube channel. I mean, how hard does it just take you a couple of hours, man? You might as well go ahead and go all the way in. You're still over there making Facebook videos. You won't shut up. You might as well try to get your ass monetized. But at this point, you're just stuck on the attention. You know, some people say attention whore, but you don't like those feminine terms. He's trying to call the bishops in New York. Everybody got to be gay. Like gay is the worst thing in the world. Girl, get off that. Get on something else, child. Apparently, his problem with with the other guy. What's his name? Bishop Bernard Jordan in New York. Apparently, they had some degree of a relationship, or at least they had eaten in each other's houses and things. And he said he had to separate from him because he had those people around him. So he left Bishop Jordan Church because he had gays in the church. When are you people going to realize that gays belong in the church like everybody else, honey? One for all and all for one. You live, you give, and a smile will appear on your face, and suddenly the world's a beautiful place. Why don't you try? Together, if it's love that we share. You say God is love, but God don't love you. God only loved me. I don't know how the delusion of people's mind. You sitting up there in a prison cell talking about how the ones out on the street, the gay people that going to work every damn day feeding their family, child. Those they going to hell. Yet your ass sitting up in prison for ripping people off. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's smoke and mirrors, Sandra. That's all it is, honey. I don't know where y'all that Wilson got the nerve, honey. He don't never need to be bringing no message about nobody else hungry for money, child. If he was in a position, he'd be doing the exact same things. Absolutely. It wouldn't surprise me if Jay Wilson is a closet Trump fan, right? Because Trump make money. It's all about money. I'm just here for the money. I'm just here for the money. Oh, I don't beg. I don't beg. I'm just here for the money. Oh yeah. Put my cash app in. Put my cash app in. You think he might be renting those cars? It'd be those cats. You mean cars? Okay. It'd be very expensive to rent by the day. Yeah, more than likely. I mean, who in hell gonna be making car payments on Rolls Royces, Bentleys, Maseratis all at the same time? Did he have one of them big SUV things too? Right. So yeah, there's probably some kind of leasing deal. He was involved with car people before he went to prison first time, right? So we don't know how he's acquired these cars. We don't know that his name is even on the damn things, right? But the people who are investigating him, surely the New York Times are going to find that out pretty easily. Correct. Particularly when this is why he went to prison in the first place. Cars and motorcycles. And other folk names. So I don't know. Maybe some people lease cars. If they want a new car every 2 years or so, person like this, they feel like they got the best, you know. Why else would you be dripping with labels all over yourself? Somebody like that want to get a new car every couple of years. They'll lease, but their lease has got to be outrageous. I would imagine on a Rolls Royce truck. They call them trucks, but actually you just got a little compartment. There's a truck in the back. The latest things. It's the kind of thing that multimillionaires drive, right? Yeah, you would think that he wouldn't be out there paying leases on all them cars, right? So now he's becoming the Rolls Royce king, or known for the Rolls Royce. So he's only driving the Rolls Royce. He don't want to be seeing anything less than the Rolls Royce, right? So he's got a Bentley sitting in his garage, And I believe it's a Maserati as well sitting in the garage, right? No, I don't believe anything got paid off. I think it's strange that before 3 years ago, he had no money at all, right? He said he'd been preaching for nine years. He got released from prison 9 years ago. So you've been a bishop that whole time? What do you just, when you got out and they gave you your $200 gate money, they also gave you a certificate to practice as a bishop? You have not built no more congregation than 9 people in 9 years? Come on, man. That's that one person a year comes to your church. How many of them are family? So now he got hooked up. So now, I mean, this thing can be addictive at first. You enjoy it at first, right? He can just sit in his desk and come on and say inflammatory things. So he really think he got Larry Reed by the balls now, because he's going with this other person who we all, I mean, a lot of people detested that person. He wore that thing down to the nub, right? So it's not going to be news for us. For him, because he just arrived here, he don't know the history. He think he's on to a hot thing. Hot thing, you're wearing me. I'm spitting all over myself today. Hot thing, you make me scream and shout. I love you, honey. Y'all don't know about that. Who's that knocking on my door? Gotta be 3:45. Excuse me, ma'am. I'm a traveling man. Rod Stewart, mid-'80s. Well, I got to say one thing. He has certainly get the attention, child. I counted up 25. Hell, that wasn't even from the robbery. That's from the last 2 days. Yes, she's afraid of him. I'd imagine so. Y'all saw the way he grabbed that woman's neck. No matter how he spins it or how he tries to doctor up the goddamn film, he went in her. It's not the first time. You don't just go at people like that. And then what's with all this violence? We saw that violence. We saw you challenging DL Hughley. You want to beat him up because he didn't like he exposed some of your shenanigans, or certainly asked you questions about him. So now he was on your hit list. You want to beat him up. Then you want to invite Larry Reed to the ring. So you want to beat him up. What's with all this violence, sir? You are a bishop. Do bishops go and take their collar off, put on the boxing gloves? There's nothing that speaks a legitimate, even a pastor, concerning you. Nothing. I mean, you won't even get those people a building. You have that so little respect for them that you will pull up to a church in a $400,000 car, and they sit up here in a rent space, not much bigger than this apartment. I mean, that's pitiful. It's pathetic. It's a front, right? And when do you go to work exactly, sir? I mean, it seems to me that you are a full-time YouTuber or a full-time Facebooker or whatever social media person, right? You always seem to be in very casual clothing with $300,000 necklaces on and shit like that, right? I'm just saying, well, when does this nigga go to work? And what do you do on your job? You can't practice real estate, felon. So I'm just curious, honey, when are you out there making these fortunes? And why would you pay the mortgage on these buildings you say you own? Right? How much trickery was involved in that, sir? I cannot imagine somebody like you walking into a bank and getting loans for millions of dollars. I can't see it. And all your bragging, you still only brag basically about one building or one complex, whatever. And they say you haven't paid the bill there. So you want attention? I'll help you out. I will help you out, sir. People, period, should not brag. Don't brag about your shit. Don't let these people know you got anything, honey. I know that if Tasha K was on here talking about how rich she was, that woman it would not even have occurred to her to sue a YouTuber, right? That only came because she said the bitch got money. Some people got to have it. Well, of course, with Cardi B, it was a personal thing. It was personal. I'm sure she probably didn't even think she would get $5 million or $4 million out of that woman, right? But at the same time, Cardi B had to pay all those attorneys. They gave her $1.3 million. They gave her for legal expenses, right? Does that mean that Cardi B actually paid out $1.3 million already? She has to recoup that money. Even if you got money, you don't just throw your money away like that. You ain't gonna have it very long. A fool and their money will soon be parted, right? They gave her damages. They gave her the whatever the case was. She put out some pursuing Cardi B. Her money was long, honey. So we could have. Woo! I hope not, Charles Dawson. I'm praying for you. Let me pray. I don't like people say I'm praying for you. They don't pray. So you got to make it official. If I say I'm praying for you, I am. Charles Dawson said the weather is so unpredictable here, so we could have this kind of heat until December. Woo! I hope. Well, it gets pretty cool here. I'm not worried for much for myself, but 95 degrees till December? Lord have mercy. And then you go to the cold weather, right? What about is it supposed to be a fall season? Jay Wilson's in Texas. He said, everything's fine. Everything's good. I'm just washing the car. Let me go get the other one now. I got to wash this other car. Jay Wilson, pitiful pimp. Jay Wilson. We don't celebrate Volvos, Jay Wilson. If you want to play with the big boys, you want to represent, you got to get you a Bentley or a Rolls Royce at these times. Ain't nobody acknowledging no goddamn Volvos. Maybe the stinking Lincoln when it was still young, but it's old now, honey. I think that the stinking Lincoln is still in his garage because the people didn't offer him anything. He took the stinking Lincoln down there to trade it in, and they said, "Well, we'll give you $500." I paid more than that for the electricity. Oh, I just got new tires. That's why he got the car, child. That's why he got 2 cars. They wouldn't give him nothing. Ain't no sense in 2 people having 2 sedans. For what? People can have 1 sports car and 1 SUV. They can have a car for shopping, doing things. And my mama had an SUV. She had a sedan and she had a truck. She had her whole truck. But they had a purpose, honey. Why I want to park 2 almost identical cars there, girl? They wouldn't give him nothing. Let me see. Qualified for a bishop. 1 Timothy 3. I know he's supposed to be blameless. And I know he's supposed to have 1 wife. But see, the difference with me is I'm not a Bible worshiper. So I respect the Bible. I think it's one of the greatest books ever written. And it's not really a book, 66 books to put together. We're not going to come across better wisdom than what we're going to find in the Bible, right? But to clunk it all together, then call it God, I just can't do it. But if he's going to make his living as supposed to be a bishop or a pastor, then really his job is to preach the book. And that's probably where my problem comes with pastors or people in ministry. It's not that I don't believe in God. I love God. God is good. And God is real. And God is alive, right? But when it comes to worshiping that book, I can't get with it. I'm sorry. Now, if I was going to be a bishop, I would have my nose in the book night and day. I would certainly get the proper education because my job would be to represent the book. That's what a preacher is. That's why we get in so much trouble with them putting on blinders as far as us as gay people for all these years, right? Because they're just going by the book, whatever the book said. That's to them was what God said. So right and wrong doesn't really matter. It's just what's in the book. Don't get me going, peoples. Hi, Soul Sister Number 1 show. How you doing? Soul Sister say, sing, baby, sing. What y'all want to sing? Them that's got shall get. Them that's not shall lose. So the Bible says, and it still is true. Mama may have, your papa he may have, but God bless the child that's got his own moment. You've got lots of friends crowding around your door. Money gone, they're still here. They don't come no more. Lady sees the blues, baby. Hi, Miss Kimmy. How you doing? Rich relations give. Oh, Miss Kimmy's carrying on. Let me see what you say. What's wrong with having two cars? Baby, ain't nothing wrong with having whatever the hell you want to buy, girl. It is the bragging element. Baby, braggarts are just kidding. It is the braggarts. Now, we don't give a fuck if you got 2 or 5 cars, girl. The point is, what does his cars got to do with us? To be on here, I mean, he has been bragging about that goddamn house since the day he arrived, right? But all we really see is just the wall behind him. Why would it even matter to us about his house? You see what I'm saying? That's what the bragging, especially when you are making your living by putting down the living conditions of other, I'll just say, Black people, right? You got your foot on everybody else's neck. And every time they try to scratch up and get $1 here, $1 there, after working for fucking 30 hours on here, right? Oh, look at her asking for money. The nerve. It is the nerve, Miss Kimmy. Are you the real Miss Kimmy, or just are you a troll? Identify. Okay. They sent a lot of them immigrants over there to San Antonio. Maybe Jay Wilson can go help them out. Right. Why don't you take some sandwiches down, Jay Wilson? God damn. How much is a loaf of bread and some bologna, child? Why don't you do something ministerial? Right? We know you'll have someone there filming it so you can have bragging rights, girl. But at least somebody will benefit in some way. You're right. There are many things that are going to happen at the church, right? I'm sure there are a lot of seniors that wouldn't mind to have someone stop by the church. Someone from the church stop by their house, right? I'm sure you got people in sick and shut in. There's got to be many things you can do in the church to help the church. If you had any concern for the people at all, surely they can use another deacon, somebody in charge of the pantry, right? Do something. We've had pastors that the associate pastors actually work as ushers. They say, honey, I'm just here to help. I just want to be in the presence of the people. All he talking about, every time he go to church, he said, oh, they gave me $250. I got $250. I'm just here for the money. If your God is money, then say it. Right? You want to be Reverend Ike? I'm just here for the money. You're right, Rhonda. He could do something, honey. Why don't you go make those sounds come out of your mouth for free? Why everybody got to pay you? And we all notice that nobody calls you back, girl. Thank you, Deandra. She said, you sing better than Jay Wilson. That ain't saying much, honey. That's what you call a low bar. I got the degree. He's mad as hell because people call themselves doctor. He's telling them, don't call yourself a doctor. Don't. And then his name is Dr. Pastor Jay Wilson. What kind of doctor are you, Jay Wilson? What is your doctorate in, child? You have your name. You tell people they shouldn't be going around calling themselves a doctor, right? Because they not come from an accredited school. But I'm asking you, you say you have a doctorate. You will show no evidence, right? You say You ain't got to prove nothing. You ain't got, well, it's right there. All you do is reach your hand up, girl. And then you can put all that to rest. But you say they shouldn't be calling themselves doctor. And yet, when they come to your page, with your whole identity is tied into your YouTube page now, it is who you are. You decide to call yourself Dr. Pastor Jay Wilson. Does Jay Wilson have a doctorate? Or is it James Wilcox? Which is it? Does the character you developed based on the street you used to live on, Wilson Street, you call yourself, I guess your real name, James, you call yourself Jay Wilson. So does Jay Wilson have a doctorate, and is Jay Wilson a doctor? He is certainly not a pastor of anything. He's never worked as a pastor. He's never had a church. Correct? You say, oh, I used to be associate pastor. Girl, we know associate pastors usually get $100 a month so they can buy gas to go to the church, right? They might get up in front once maybe every other month or something like that, girl. That ain't saying very much, Jay Wilson. It's just a lie, girl. It's just a ploy. You thought you can get on here and you can make some money by claiming to be a pastor. It is a license to beg. That's what it is, honey. That is the bottom line. I say I'm a pastor. That means I can sell you to give money to God. You're going to give. You got to give. You got to. And that's how you saw it. And you failed at it, Jay Wilson. You failed miserably and you wasted a lot of time. So now here you are, 55 years old, working part-time at the mall. You really think them people, as the Christmas season approaches, Jay Wilson, are not going to go down to that mall and see if you're selling either T-shirts or tennis shoes? Hello, sir. May I help you? Aren't you Jay Wilson? That is you. That's Jay Wilson. I can see you running for the back room. That's him. That's him. He a fool. Look at him. Look at the doctor. They'll come right on here and tell us, girl. They might even film you with their cell phones, child. Mm-hmm. Moonbeams, child. Hot moonbeams, child. Mm-hmm. A man of everything. I like singing that lady sings the blues. Someday he'll come along, the man I love, and he'll be big and strong, the man I love. He'll build a little home just meant for two, from which I'll never roam. Play with me. Give me a pig foot and a bottle of beer. You get older every time Timothy mentions his name. Jay Wilson get older every time Timothy Blaine reaches his neck. Lord have mercy. He didn't have the shoe polish in the beard today, right? He's ashamed because he goes one day on, one day off, one day off, lazy. One day on, one day off with this black shit all in his mustache. But he had the eyebrows done today. Jay Wilson, nobody want your old ass, bitch. We know Mark dropped you. That's why you're wearing new clothes out here, girl. That's why you're taking off the tonnage, girl. That's why you're starving yourself. That's why you're taking handfuls of diet supplements. What do you call it? Appetite suppressants, fat burners. You're doing all this shit. But the only thing you want to brag about, I'm going to the gym. I'm going to the gym. I walk the dog. That man's a fool. Mm-hmm. He will say that he is the head or district manager of Old Navy. Yeah, he gonna claim that, child. That little shirt and tie he was wearing last week, that looked like a head of shit. That looked like a counter boy. Silly ass. I'm telling you, this morning I woke up, girl. It was 9 o'clock in the morning. 9 o'clock. This fool had already made 2 videos. Then he talk about how they don't know how to make money like me. I know how to make money. They don't know how to monetize the right way like me. Like, no, nigga. You on YouTube, girl, 4 and 5 times every day, child. That's it. Right? You're not getting 1,000 views a day. You're getting 10 because you own 10 times, bitch. And then you let these people who are gullible enough to go over there. I should go over there and visit you today. They go over there and you let them make the money. They went over there talking to your ass. Mm-hmm. I'm thirsty today. That must be the heat. It is warm. He's somewhere. Yeah, I believe he's 55. I believe he's 55, Charles Dawson, because he's lied about everything about his personal life, right? If you lie about everything, why in the hell would you be telling the truth about your age? That's the first thing people lie about. Girls. No offense, gay men, but he's a girl. So he lies about his age. Absolutely. So I believe he's about 55 years old. At any rate, if it's 52 to 55, it's still just about over. He's supposed to maybe be planning his exit plan now. What's your exit plan, Jay Wilson, at the temp agency? I'm going to be the chaplain. No, I don't know about that one, buddy. I think you have to write off that whole training, honey. Now, you can have bragging rights, and now you can claim that you are a doctor and a pastor and a chaplain. You can probably claim that, but it probably has to be renewed, but he'll lie about that. He said he's been ordained. He's been ordained for 20 years and ain't got no church. And did shit in ministry, but yeah, he's ordained. That's not my understanding of what an ordination is, right? He can claim that, but he ain't gonna get no work as it, right? People already know what he did, what he does. He has a record that follows him. They don't want to bring that kind of smoke on down hospital. People in there dying and shit. You think we want to play online with YouTubers? Everybody calling there and saying, listen what he said. Listen what he said. And the point is, girl, you took all your videos down, Jay Wilson, not because of what the people said, it's because of what you said. You being fired was all based on what you said, right? All they had, the only weapons they had was your mouth. And you recognize how filthy and nasty and disgusting your mouth is because you took down all your videos and you didn't bring them back. Now, the ones you made since then, they're just as vile and disgusting, right? But see, since you have this thing, it's ongoing relationship with the coin, you want to leave something up, girl. So they got to go knock you upside your head again. And of course, every time they knock you upside the head, oh, I'm fine. Everything is good. I ain't got no problem. I don't care. Keep challenging people, Jay Wilson. Old Picturesque. I don't know that company. Let me see. Uber headquarters, district man. Why did you stop talking about Uber so much? What happened? You went out and bought a whole Volvo so you can drive the Uber, Jay Wilson. And now you don't mention the Uber. Did they fire you from Uber as well? I mean, why would you ain't got no job. So why would you all of a sudden just stop talking about Uber altogether? Right? You're not going to walk away from something that's lucrative. It's lucrative. Why did you leave Uber? I would like to know, why did the people at Prep fire you? Although I have a pretty good idea. And the business that you said you had moved to after you got fired from there, you went somewhere else when Tracy called there. Why did you lose that job? Right? And then you went to the training. That took about 9 months. But when you got out, you said you had a new job, but you didn't have a new job. So what happened to that job that you got immediately after the training? That was the hospital that we heard the people call, right? So then you lost that job, right? So I'm trying to figure out, if you can lose 4 and 5 jobs since you've been on YouTube for the last, I guess, 4 years, you've lost 4 and 5 jobs since you've been on here, right? Or means of income, streams of income, as you call them, right? What are the chances that you only worked at Delta Airlines for all those other years? Jay Wilson, you have been losing jobs for your entire life. That's it. Right? Delta couldn't have been the only. You left there in your 20s, girl. But that's the only way you can talk. That's the best you've ever done, was to pass out peanuts and cookies. Right? And you're going to say that I'm a failure? No, girl. We judge success in different ways, honey. Right? Am I a happy person? Check mark. Are you? Jay Wilson, go back there and write them people a check in Las Vegas. They want their money back, and I think you should give it to them. I think you should give it to them, Pastor. Give it to him, Pastor. He go over there and wait. Only thing he's ordained at is being a messy queen on YouTube. Honey, he should talk to Whitehead, because Whitehead is experiencing what Jay Wilson experienced when he got on YouTube. Oh, I'm a success. I'm a success. I got a show. It's my show. I'm on a show. Oh, my show. The guy. I don't even gotta ask. They just give. They just give. Not peanuts and cookies. Yes, that's what you do, and you're a stewardess, honey. You take 5 minutes and show people how to put the mask on, how to breathe, right? How it's going to fall out the ceiling. You put it on your face, right? Or whatever the little things they tell you there. Put the seatbelt on. Don't walk during it on. That takes 5 minutes. All the rest of it is just being a waiter. That's it. I apologize if I'm offending any of you people who have worked as airline stewards, but you got to admit what it is. It's a flying waiter. And he was letting the children have it. How dare them call themselves a doctor? What's your name? I'm Dr. Jay Wilson. Accredited schools. But Jay Wilson, I mean, it would be so simple. Listen, if I say I'm a doctor and I've got a diploma this close to, I can just reach up there and say, here's my doctorate right here. Right? Here's why I'm a doctor. Here's why I'm a pastor. Here's why I'm anything. You want to brag about everything, but you don't want to show any of the evidence, even though the evidence is sitting within hand's reach. What are you so afraid of, Jay Wilson? Stop living your life. You're living your life in a fool's paradise. What else y'all say? Let me see. I'm convinced he made a deal with the devil and belonged to a secret society. That could apply to either one of them, girl. A deal with the devil. That I don't know if that's real. Miss Kimmy came on here or not. I don't know. She said, "What's wrong with having 2 cars?" Somebody might try to stir up a little hell over here, honey. I'm catching hell. Y'all have a wonderful Saturday. It's hot as hell here, honey. I was gonna go out. Well, maybe I'll go out with my friend. Go out and have some lunch. Try to stay cool. I hope it cools off wherever y'all at. Y'all have a wonderful Saturday. Thanks for coming in. Good to see you, Charles Dawson. Always good to see you, bro. Do you be a perfect friend? Go out and have coffee and gossip with. That's what I'm about to do, Sandra. Go out and gossip and have a cup of coffee. No coffee. It got to be iced coffee today. It's hot as hell, honey. I do appreciate respect flight attendants as they go through extensive training and have to deal with passengers. But Charles Dawson, the point is, the job was 30 years ago, man. 30 years ago, he went to school. He was an airline. You can't imagine they might hire no fat ass man like that. He was huge up until 2 months ago. I've been on many Delta airlines. They got them little tiny ass aisles that I could barely get through as a thin person. Jay Wilson did that job when he was in his 20s, where he wasn't rotund, right? So why in the hell is he bragging about a job he did when he was in his 20s? He's in his 50s, child. Ain't you did anything since then, Jay Wilson? Can't you tell us when you were a supervisor of something? You can't stay nowhere long enough to become anything, Jay Wilson. As soon as they figure out how useless you are, girl, they let you go, right? Because you only there for a coin. A coin keep me here. A coin. Y'all better let me go. Let me get out of here. Talk to y'all later.